I'm going to give you 10 minutes of stuff you probably already heard before, said better than me with better audio and video, but here we go. So I just caught up to One Piece-ish. I am like halfway through the Whole Cake Island arc, and it is just such a fantastic show, and I wanted to make a video just to talk about some things that intrigue me about the show. And I was thinking of an analogy about One Piece that relates to real life, and this is the analogy I came up with. So One Piece is like a quilt that was made by your grandma. And if your grandma's making you a quilt, that thing is going to be high quality. It may take time and it may be a lot of effort, but in the end, that quilt is going to be better than something you're going to get at Walmart for $25. This is going to be a good piece of work. One Piece is the same way as a quilt that your grandma made, because with a quilt, everything starts at one point and then it ends at one point, and then that's your quilt. And everything's connected throughout it. So in the middle, it's connected to the beginning and it's connected to the end, and everything's one piece. Same thing with One Piece. The beginning of the story is just, it goes to the rest of the story, and things that he brings up like 900 chapters later relates to something that was 300 and 200 and 700, and everything is connected perfectly. And I was watching the Whole Cake Island arc, and just like the stuff with Lola and the Beaver card, and when they went to Thriller Bark and Lola ended and she said, here's my mom's Beaver card, she's a pretty big pirate in the new world, she might help you if you're in trouble. That was brought up in so much detail in the Whole Cake Island arc, which was like 500 chapters later. It's just things like that. It just blows you away when it's brought up, and I can't even give any more examples. There's just too many to think of, but it's just everything is so thought out, and he's so meticulous with it. It's insane. And I've been very impressed with the Whole Cake Island arc. I thought the Zoe arc was very good, and Dressrosa for me was good. And it was this whole New World saga has built up to being the best. It started off Fishman Island kind of meh, and then Punk Hazard was kind of meh, and then Dressrosa was better, long but better, and then Zoe was quick and fast-paced, short arc, but it was a great arc. And then Whole Cake Island has been fantastic, and I know after this we go to Reverie and then we go to Wano Kingdom, but this is just, overall is getting so good and so intense. The writing is fantastic. The Sanji leaving and then coming back, and it's not even the same thing as Robin, but it's just so powerful the way he writes it, and so emotional, and he is just a genius. But there are some things about the show that have intrigued me since the beginning, and the one thing that I've always loved is the poneglyphs. I've thought that is very interesting. I've always liked the idea of poneglyphs because there have been so much like ambiance behind them. And Robin is like one of my favorite Straw Hats because she's obviously tied to them and she's so smart, and I just love the poneglyphs and the 100-Year Void. It's so interesting because you know that the government's shit. Everybody knows the government's shit besides the people that hate pirates, and the government is fooling them in the show, pretty much like our government. But anyways, but that 100-Year Void is something that is going to reveal that the government is a corrupt, heinous organization, and very few people know about it. And it's something that they want to keep under like lock and key. So it's something so mysterious. It's always intrigued me. And that's what I loved about Zoe when it was explained more of what the poneglyphs meant. And, you know, they have like the information ones and the road poneglyphs. And you find out that Roger could not read them, but he could hear the voice of them. And that's just something I need to be elaborated on at like the end because it's so great. And when Doflamingo gave that speech about the will of D, that was something that gave me chills when I heard that speech because it was so just like, he's so evil, but you know it's true because he was a dragon, he fell because of his dad, and you know it's true what he's saying. And the will of D is something I think directly connects to the 100-Year Void. It has to, because it has been said, I think by Doflamingo, I'm not sure, but the people with the will of D are the direct enemies of the Celestial Dragons, and the Celestial Dragons are worse than the world government because they are the scummiest scum of the scum. And when Luffy punched that guy in his face, I was like, here you go. But the Will of D, obviously, it goes into the 100-Year Void. It connects directly with the formation of the government, and it just is something that is so interesting, and it makes no sense to me because there are people that have the Will of D that are bad, that are good, that are giants, that are not. It's in families and it's not in families. It's something that's all over the place and nobody knows about it but a few people. But when it's brought up, it's something that's so hush-hush that nobody wants to talk about it. So the Will of D is something that I cannot wait to see in the show because it is just such a fascinating thing. And if you took out Blackbeard, I would think it'd be something different. But since Blackbeard is in there and he has the Will of D, it makes me think that it's something different than, I don't know, like a family of people that are going to get together and do good. But Blackbeard's obviously not good, so the Will of D doesn't discriminate on good or evil. It is just something you are born with. And it makes no sense to me because when you're born, say your last name's a Peanut. You're going to be a peanut for the rest of your life. You're going to be XX Peanut. Even if you're a female and you get married, you're still going to be a peanut at heart because that's your roots. But middle names are something that are, you have a choice with that. You don't have a choice with your last name, but with a middle name, you're given that name. Mine was passed down from my grandpa, so it's the same thing in that respect, but I could have easily been Steve and nothing be different. So people that are named D, is it passed down? Is it not? It's been said that it's been passed down, but people that like Blackbeard, he just has it. So what does is it you're born and oh my god, his middle name's D? Or do you have to be a D? Or is it your destiny to be a D? Does D stand for destiny? Who knows? But that is just something that I need to be elaborated on because it's such a fantastic, interesting topic throughout the show. And that's just the things, like with the story I want to be elaborated on, but I need to see more from the Emperors. I know Kaido's going to be in the Zou arc, and or the Wano arc, and he's going to be a badass, but we don't know too much about Kaido. Big Mom, we got a good taste of her. It's not going to be the last of her, obviously, from what I know. And then Blackbeard we know some about, but we don't really know him as an Emperor. We just know him as Blackbeard, the, douchey Blackbeard he is, and you just want to fucking kill him. But I need the Emperors to be elaborated on, especially Shanks, because from what we think, Shanks is a good guy. Shanks' crew is just, they're like the good pirates, like the Straw Hats. They're like the same as them. They're always on the right side of things, even though they're pirates. They're technically bad guys, they're still good guys. So that's what we think about Shanks. But we don't know too much about Shanks, because he came to, Marineford, ended the war, and then he ended that with just being an emperor, because he's super powerful. We don't know, why he's powerful. We know he has hockey. We know he's missing an arm, but we don't know a lot about Shanks. And we know him and Luffy have this great bond, and Shanks is still, he still feels the same way Luffy does. But are they going to end up fighting each other for the One Piece? Are they going to work together? Is Shanks going to lift Luffy up to get there? Is he going to fight against Blackbeard and die? We don't know. So Shanks is something that has a big cloud of mystery around him too, in my opinion. So that is something I need to see. And the reunion between Shanks and Luffy is just going to be it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be epic, and it's going to fucking blow your mind. So I'm ready for that. And the other thing that I don't know if it connects to the Will of D and the 100-Year Void, but Luffy and Roger and Momonosuke have it, and so did Momonosuke's dad. They have the ability to hear the voice of all things. And you've seen that before with Luffy, when he could hear the Sea Kings in Fishman Island. So he could hear them. And they said something, I don't know I remember them saying something about him when he was floating or something. So they've said, and they acknowledged it, and then it happened again in Zou when he was talking to the turtle, but he couldn't talk to it, but he could hear it. Same thing as Roger with the turtle, and then I think that's how he could do poneglyphs. He can hear their voice, and that's how he can write it. I don't think he actually knew how to read them like Robin can. He just could hear the voice of them. So that voice of all things is going to come in the future, and I think it's going to directly correlate with Luffy being a D and with the 100-Year Void. So those are just some things that I need to be elaborated on. The Revolutionary Army he's given us a little taste of, but we obviously need more of that. We need more of Dragon. We need more of Sabo. We need more of Koala. We need more of everything with the Revolutionary Army, because there's going to be, like everybody's been saying, I bet there's going to be a war, and it's not going to be pirates versus government. I think it's going to be a war of just fucking debauchery, because it's going to be the will of D the people with the D are going to be leading the war. So whether Blackbeard's on the same side or the people of D split up and it's, these D's fighting these D's, but that's what it's going to be. They're going to be the spearheads of the war, and that's going to be something that happens, I believe. And Luffy will obviously come out on top because he's the main character of the show, and he's Luffy, but he has more going for him than everybody else because he's got the middle name D. He has great bonds with his friends, and his crew is fantastic, and he has supporters all around the world because he's just a good person. And so he has the will of D. He has the support of countless people. He has a crew that they are all fantastic in their own facets, and they're all important for, the end game of the story. And also he has Conqueror's King Haki, and he has the voice. He can hear all things. So Luffy is going to be spearheading against somebody, and I bet you Blackbeard will be on one side, and maybe Kaido, and then maybe Big Mom and Shanks will be on Luffy's side, or maybe it'll just be, I don't know, but I think it's going to be Emperors and Emperors with Warlords and Warlords, D's and D's, government on one side, and it's going to blow up and be this epic thing, and it's going to be something that's going to happen from the 100-Year Void coming out to the public, because people are going to be like, what the fuck, our government is shitty. But yeah, those are just a couple things that I need to be elaborated on, and the show is just so great. And I'm only in the anime right now. I used to read the manga. I let go of it for a couple years and then came back into the anime, and then I'll go back to the manga eventually. But I'm very impressed with the anime. Their animation quality is fucking so much better. The newest opening was fantastic. The show is just doing great, and the pacing is so good, and the revelations are there, and the emotion is there, and the action is there, and everything's there right now. It always is, but it's there like it hasn't been for me in a while. That's why I kind of fell off. But One Piece is really, really there for me now. But yeah, give me your thoughts on the stuff I just talked about. Also give me your thoughts on what you think about my video. And yeah,